everyone, welcome to today's webinar on the MS in Information Technology program at the Fordham University's Gabelli School of Business. We are honored today to be joined by Jie Ren. She's a professor at the MSID program, and Tenzin Palkyi. She's the Assistant Director of Admissions and Recruitment for the MSID program. Along with them, we also have a future ambassador, an alumni who has been through the process here to give their valuable information on how the program structure is, what career prospects you can explore, and the admission process. So let's dive right into this engaging session where you'll learn more about how this program can help shape your future in the information technology. And also, please feel free to ask questions and make most of this opportunity. Over to you, Tenzin.
Thank you so much, Meghna. Hi, everyone. As Meghna mentioned, my name is Tenzin. I'm one of the admissions officers here at the Gabelli School of Business. I work with their information technology program, as well as any prospective students looking at applying and entering into this program. So I have a hopefully brief presentation prepared for you today, but I'll try to leave more time for Dr. Ren and Amar to share any experiences that you might be interested in. So as Meghna said, please feel free to post any questions in the chat as they come up. So just a quick introduction to us for any students who are unfamiliar with Fordham or where we are located. So we are the Gabelli School of Business, part of Fordham University, and the main campus that we'll be focusing on today is our Lincoln Center campus, which is in Midtown Manhattan. So we have a handy little map right to the left-hand side of the screen. So this yellow box is where we are on West 60th Street. We are right next to the Lincoln Center for Performing Arts. We're a couple blocks away from Central Park. And then the further south you go, you'll see, of course, the Empire State Building, Times Square, Grand Central's down there too. So a lot of landmarks that I'm naming just to kind of situate you in terms of where we are in the US as well as in New York City. But I think what's also great about this is how close in proximity we are to some pretty interesting and pretty great companies, whether they're headquartered here, whether they have branches here, and there's a wide variety in terms of industry as well, right? So whether you're interested in tech, finance, whether you're interested in sort of the entertainment business, anything else, advertising, marketing, you can find it all in New York City. So I think we're at a prime location when it comes to connecting either for internships, employers, and then alumni as well. So we have a very strong alumni base, pretty loyal alumni as well, I would like to think. And I think part of it goes towards sort of the Jesuit identity and sort of the culture that's formed at the university. So in terms of students, long after they've finished their time here as students, they still do continue to feel that connection to the school. And I think beyond that too, a lot of our alumni do continue working and living in and around the New York City area or right outside of New York City. So I think in terms of distance and proximity, again, it's easier for them to, come onto campus maybe when there are events or, if we are looking for speakers or alumni to represent certain programs or certain opportunities, they're able to kind of just walk a couple blocks onto campus. We do have a few other campuses besides this one. We have a campus in the Bronx. We also have a campus in Westchester, but the Lincoln Center campus in Manhattan is where all of your classes would be taking place at for the information technology program. And just diving right into the IT program. So technically, this program standalone is a 30 credit program, but I will say that the perk for students coming in through the Futurense partnership with the IT program is that you would be, instead of taking 30 credits at Gabelli, you would be taking 3 classes in India before coming to the States. And those credits would then be accepted as transfer credits. And then you would be taking the remaining 21 credits here at Gabelli. So that's just something I wanted to note is while the IT program is a 30 credit program, we will be accepting 9 credits as transfer credits for the courses that you take in India, which have already been pre-approved by our faculty. And you would be taking through Futurense. But just to give you an idea of the course structure and the design for the fall, typically these are the courses that you would be taking. And then we do have, web applications, project management, again, info systems and strategy and management. And then you do have options to choose from tracks when it comes to the different types of electives that you could be taking for those remaining credits. It's designed as a 3-semester program. So students would typically, again, be taking about 4 classes in the fall, 4 in the spring, and then 2 in the summer. However, I will note that with your reduced course load at Gabelli, you would work together with your academic advisor to figure out, what courses still are left to be taken, what's being offered each semester, and what you could be taking each semester while maintaining full-time status. So that's a minimum of at least three classes that you would be taking each semester. I'll just pause here, Dr. Ren, if you have anything to add in terms of maybe like highlights for the program that students can expect.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Professor Jie Ren. I'm currently the director of the MS BA program. And then, so before last year, I was the director of the MS IT program for 2 years. So yes, so exactly as Tenzin said, if you join this program, and then you will have three electives taken in India, and then that leaves you to 7 courses to be taken here. And then, so we have several tracks, and then we have put together a very wonderful curriculum. And then in addition, we also have many enrichment activities that will really take students' hands right through this entire journey. I don't know, Tenzin, if you will be talking about the enrichment activities. Maybe I will be briefly talking about it.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I do have a couple slides for enrichment, so it's up to you if you want to talk about it now or then whatever you'd like.
Okay, maybe I will leave it later after this. So yeah, and then we have a big collection of electives. So student could be focusing, for example, business analytics orientation, and then could be very much related to IS design or related to digital innovation. The whole point is that this major is very generic. It can apply to so many different industries. And then the perk of being in New York City is that you are exposed to a lot of industries. And then we have tech companies here, we have finance, right, industry, and then not to mention media and fashion and news. And then if you are very much interested in healthcare, for example, and then in the nearby state, we have New Jersey, and a lot of pharmaceutical companies are here. So it's really a good center, a good location for job hunting. Not to mention that you get opportunities to connect with a lot of people from different industries as well. And then from our program per se, we do have the enrichment activities that could take your hand through this entire journey that will range from, for example, providing additional workshops to providing networking opportunities with our alumni and also with industry speakers. And then I know that maybe Tenzin will be highlighting this flagship enrichment, which is March Madness Data Crunch competition, which is actually ongoing. We are very excited about this opportunity. It has been a 12th year collaboration with Deloitte on this. So, okay, so hope to see you in the future.
Thank you so much, Professor Ren. Yeah, and we're going to talk a lot more about all of the wonderful kind of enrichment activities that she just mentioned, which I know the IT faculty work really hard to put together to make sure that there's a lot of offerings for you each semester. Right. And maybe while I'm on this slide, actually, so I know that this is your first semester in the program, but you've had a couple weeks in the classes. So maybe you could talk a little bit about the classes that you are taking so far and what your experience has been with your professors so far.
Tenzin, thank you for the opportunity. Firstly, my name is Amar. I recently came to the Fordham University. Actually, currently I'm doing MSIT program, and one more thing is I also came through the Futurense technologies only. That the thing is Fordham is very good choice actually. Fordham is very good university because the curriculum is mix of both technical and functional concept. They will cover both of them actually. And I did 9 credits from IIT India, and I'm doing remaining 21 credits from the Fordham University. In my first semester, I supposed to take 2 subjects from the core part, but I reached out to my program dean actually. I was very much interested about the some subjects in the business analytics actually. He gave a permission, to choose that one subject apart from my core subject actually. That's a very wonderful thing. Here the professors are very much helpful. They will understand our needs actually. So the program is more about what you like, however you want to reach your goal. That's what I feel. The professor very supportive, and the only thing is we need to focus what we need from the professors. We need to reach out to them, and we need to schedule a meeting with them. We can explain these are things I want to learn. Could you please help us on us? Then they will look into that. Then they will guide us, and they will guide actually accordingly. And also I understand one thing from the Fordham University. Fordham has a lot of industry connections. I know career development programs are happening here and there. I'm receiving an email to them. Since I'm in a first semester, I'm very much happy to get to know all these things. And that's what I can say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think you brought up a lot of great points. I think the small class sizes, we try to cap our classes at like 35 students. We don't fill them up too much. So hopefully that helps in terms of making good connections with your professors. And as Amar said, I think another great point is that part of this experience is, you meeting them halfway, right? So the professors are great resources and they have a wealth of knowledge to impart on you as students, whether it's in the classroom, outside the classroom. But I think you also need to take the initiative to reach out to them and let them know like you need help or, what it is you're interested in. So I think those were all some great points. All right, so now going on to the tuition and fees. Sorry, that is meant to say 21 credits, not 31 credits. But for 21 credits, the Gabelli School of Business, as I mentioned, because we do accept the 9 credits that you'd be taking at IIT here, it would be $30,000 as a flat fee for 21 credits. And just to give you an idea of sort of the savings, typically for students coming into the MSIT program, we require all students to take all 30 credits at Gabelli. We usually don't accept any transfer credits, and this is sort of the one exception that we have made for this partnership. And typically, it's a per credit basis. So usually students would be charged about $2,103 per credit. So you can multiply that by 30 to, figure out how much it is typically for a student coming into the IT program compared to the 21 credits and the 30,000 for any mild students coming into the program. And so that's the tuition flat fee for students for fall of 2025. Beyond that, though, I will note that we do have enrichment fees and semester fees. So you'll see them noted. For the one-time enrichment fee, you are charged your first semester bill, and then that's it for the entirety of your program. And then below that, you'll see the recurring semester fees, which are basically the fees that you are charged every term that you are enrolled in the program. So these are things like technology fees for all of the software, the computers, any of those resources that you're using during your program, your classes, international student fee for the OIS office, which helps when it comes to I-20 visa. Ultimately, when you're applying for CPT, OPT, they'll be helpful for that as well. Health insurance is listed because all students are required to have some form of health insurance. However, if you have your own form of health insurance provider in the US, as long as you can provide proof of that, we can waive you from the Fordham insurance that you see listed in front of you. So that's just to make sure that you know that you have to have it, but if you have your own, then we can waive you from ours. So yes, these are the fees for students coming in for the fall of 2025. And now quickly moving on to some of those enrichment activities that we mentioned earlier. So we would love for you to get involved. I think, of course, it's a graduate program, it's a master's program. We want to make sure that you are, spending time in your classes and really focusing on academics. But beyond that, there's so much more to your experience at Gabelli. And in taking advantage of that, part of it is joining our graduate student organizations. As you can see, we have quite a few. We have affinity-based clubs, which are basically clubs that are centered more around like cultural identity, sharing cultures. So we have the Chinese Business Society, Fordham Women in Business is huge on campus, and then South Asian Business Association, SABA, is another one that is probably one of our biggest clubs on campus. And I think what's great too is it's a way of finding community away from home. Many of you, are thinking about moving away from home for about a year, more than that. And it can be very daunting. It can be, a scary thought, especially if maybe this is your first time living abroad. So I think this helps you find a little bit of that community here in the States and in Gabelli as well. But another great thing is that it's open for students of all different backgrounds to join. So, Saba hosts holy celebrations, Diwali, they host a lot of great events all throughout the year. And they also invite students from, non-South Asian backgrounds as well. So I think it's a nice kind of cross-cultural exchange for students to experience, which is part of the diversity in the university and the student body that's coming in. Special interest, and then professional development and industry, which you'll find is the largest section that we have. So ones that might be of interest to you are Business Analytics Society, maybe Net Impact. We also have, what else do we have? We have Quant Finance Society. We have Gabelli Tech Entrepreneurs Club. So we have so many different clubs that you can join, and you're not restricted by your program. So just because you're IT students doesn't mean that you can only join clubs that have to do with IT. You're welcome to join any of the clubs that you see on the screen. And I think it's a great way to network. A lot of these clubs host their own events, host their own industry events, whether they're in the professional development section in the front of you or whether they're in the affinity or special interest groups. So it's a great way to widen your network, meet students from other programs, meet alumni who've been a part of these clubs. So yes, definitely take advantage of these. And now for some of the enrichment activities that we mentioned, that Professor Ren mentioned a little bit earlier. The Deloitte-sponsored March Madness Data Crunch competition is definitely one of the highlights for any of our students here. Just to give you a quick brief of what it's about. So it's a partnership that we've had with Deloitte for this competition for about 12 years. I think this is the 12th year. And this is exactly the perfect time to talk about it, actually, because March Madness is coming up very soon. It's a annual college basketball national basketball tournament that we hold here in the States. It's a huge kind of tournament. It's watched by a lot of people around the country, not just, people affiliated to the colleges or the universities. And what you do, just for like a general idea, is you and a group of other students will enter this competition and then use publicly available data in order to basically, figure out who has won in past years and then predict who you believe what might be winning this year, along with who kind of would be winning the brackets in the lead up to the final match. So it's a fun twist in terms of being able to apply what you're actually practicing and learning in the classroom. And it's another great way to continue working with others, whether they're in your program or not, and kind of building that collaborative spirit for the competition. And in the end, you present in front of a panel of judges, not only from Gabelli, but also some Deloitte judges who will be coming to campus to see all of your great presentations too. So that'll be happening very soon, and hopefully you'll be able to be a part of that next year as well. And then beyond that, we also have some great workshops, as mentioned before. So we have Tableau workshops, resume building and strategy workshops, communications, business communications. How do you carry yourself in an interview setting? How do you carry yourself in those, meetings in more of a business context, right? And then we have stats workshops, Python workshops. So a lot of standalone kind of events that help you build or hone skills in addition to the classes, the semester-long classes that you're taking. So these are great ways to kind of couple those skills with what you're learning in the classroom. And then, of course, alumni events. We have some wonderful alumni, that have graduated from the ITO areas and programs that I think have gone on to do some amazing things and are always willing to come back and give back to students, talk to them about their experiences, talk to them about sort of how they leverage their time in the program to get to where they are today. And hopefully the same will be for Amar as well. I know it's your first semester, but as you move along through the program, hopefully that'll be you on the other side in a year's time. And then let me see if there's anything else before I maybe.
Also, we can add one more point
Yeah, of
actually.
course, go ahead.
The thing is, here I got to know that, we have an internship. Mostly, some people might have internship with the United Nations actually in headquarters in the New York. That is a very good opportunity. Even we have a one subject from the AA, like genetic AA. That is also we are going to work with the UN actually. We are going to work on the UN project. That is part of our curriculum actually. If you do good in the IIT, if you get more than GPA 3.5, we are eligible to enroll for that course. So we need to use that. We need to use that opportunity. We can interact with the UN people, and we might get the internship opportunity also in the future. So that is a very good opportunity which is Fordham is providing actually.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you so much for bringing it up because I don't think I included that in the
Yeah,
slide
that's the
in
reason I want
before
to
us.
mention that UN internship.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, that's another highlight of the program is the different sort of class-based internships that we have. So the UN internship that I just mentioned is part of a 1.5 credit class that we offer here at Gabelli. And students in it are able to participate in a sort of semester-long project for the UN. And I believe it's surrounding sort of AI data tools for the UN. And along with that, we also have another similar credit-based internship that we offer, another 1.5 credit class is is for New York City Town and Gown, which is basically New York City local government. And for them, the projects vary from semester to semester. But in the past, there have been projects on sort of waste management in the city. And a lot of it, again, is using sort of data and analytics in order to figure out how to better help the processes that are concerned with each of those different areas or projects in the city. So other great resources and sort of enrichment activities and sort of classes to get involved with here at Gabelli. And these were just some pictures that I have from some of our past events. And they range again from different alumni events, different industry events, and then some more like social fun events too. We do have like, happy hours or mixers that we host for our current students, along with ones maybe that will invite alumni to, so that you're able to mingle with them in a more casual setting. Something else I forgot to mention, I think Professor Ren also mentioned that we also do have a digital business society for our MSIT students, which I don't think I've updated on the slides just yet. So another great, club that you could possibly join if you want to, further practice those interests outside of the classroom. All right, so now talking about sort of the deadlines and talking more about the application process. So, we're hoping that you can submit your application by March 21st. And you'll see through this that it's going to be a pretty streamlined application process. I'll list all of the documents that you'll need, the ones that you won't need as you're coming from the program. And hopefully this will be a pretty simple process to submit all of those necessary documents. So March 21st is when we're hoping everyone will be able to apply by, so that not only are we able to get you your decisions back in time for you to have, lots of time to apply for your visa and get all of that settled, but also I believe you also will be starting your IIT classes in May, which are the classes that you will need to transfer into our program. So this is the deadline that I would keep in mind for all of you, but happy to talk more one-on-one if there's anything that has come up. Now to quickly go over sort of an inside look into the admissions committee, like what are we looking at? So of course, academic performance, how have you performed in your previous institution? We'll look at your transcripts, your cumulative GPA, but also kind of the specific classes that you've been taking, especially for a program like IT. We want to make sure that, there is some quantitative or technical ability that you are coming in with to hopefully help you in terms of the rigor and the types of courses that you'll be taking here in the program. Communications, interpersonal skills, how do we figure that out? Would be through your essays. Make sure that your essays are personal to you. Make sure that your essays speak to your personal experience, whether it's your academics, whether it's the internships or the jobs that you've had before this program. The admissions interview, after you submit your application, you might be invited to interview with us. So how well you perform in that might also play a part in the application review as well. Contributions to the Gabelli community. So we want to see what type of student you would be or could be at Gabelli. And the way that we figure that out is how you've already demonstrated that in your past institutions and experiences, right? So were you very active? Were you part of clubs and organizations on campus? Were you doing things off campus too? So, maybe you volunteered somewhere, or maybe, you had a job somewhere, or, anything like that that you can share. I think it helps us to see sort of the cultural fit. Another one that would be important is why Gabelli. We understand that there might be other schools that you are looking at. So ultimately, when you decide to submit your application, we also want to get a sense of, what about our university and our school and the IT program specifically at our school has drawn you to apply to us and possibly pursue the program with us. And then in terms of employability, the IT program, I forgot to mention, is a pre-experience program, meaning that we don't require students to have work experience to come into the program. However, it ranges for each student, right? Some students might be coming straight from completing their bachelor's. Some might have a couple years of experience and are now looking to pursue the specialized degree. So just depending on your experience, how you're able to showcase that to us in your resume. But I think another part of employability not only is the experiences you already have, but what you're hoping to gain. So how are you able to talk about your career goals, what you hope to do with this degree and what you hope to gain from your experience in the program. And then leadership can be shown in many different ways. How have you become a leader either in your school, in your clubs, in the workplace, anything that you're able to highlight for us, I think throughout your application can be helpful for us. So this is just a very quick sort of inside look into the different little components that we're looking at for the more holistic review of the application itself. And now, after hearing all of this, if you're ready to apply, the application is live on our website. So it is, you're able to open it up, create an account, and start the application. But just to give you an idea of what we're looking for in terms of the required documents, so definitely your professional resume. So make sure that it is as up to date as possible with any experiences that you've had so far, whether they're internships or whether they're full-time experiences. Make sure to include clubs and organizations in there as well. I think that'll be helpful for us in our review. Your official transcripts, so any sort of transcripts from previous institutions that you've attended for us to be able to review. We do not require TOEFL, IELTS, or any sort of English proficiency score for any of you, so you do not have to submit that. And along with that, I'll also say that we do not currently require professional recommendations. So you do not have to submit a letter of recommendation. I just want to again reiterate that you do not have to submit a letter of recommendation. However, if you feel strongly about having someone speak on your behalf, if there's someone that you really want to submit something for you, then you are still welcome to put their information in. I will just note that if you indicate that you want someone to write a recommendation, then we will try to honor that and wait until we at least receive one of those recommendations before we move forward with the review. Essays are built into the application itself. So the main essay will be asking you a little bit again about your interest in the program, your interest in the university. There's a couple different points that we want you to hit. There is a 500-word limit for that. So we want to make sure that you're keeping it short and sweet and that you're also answering directly the questions that we're asking. And then the second question that you might have to answer is about quantitative and technical skills. So because this is the IT program, what sort of work have you done before the program to make you ready to pursue this MSIT? We don't require standardized exams. So again, GMAT, GRE are not required as part of the application, but if you've already taken it, if you feel like you have a very strong score, feel free to submit that, but your application will still be considered complete even without those scores. And then finally, admissions interview. This really comes after you've already submitted. After you've submitted your application, you might be invited to interview with us. And if you receive that invitation, then make sure to just register as soon as you can to help the application move along the process. And these are just some contacts. At this stage in the process, I'll probably be your main point of contact, along with, of course, any of the people that you're working with at Futurense. But these are just some names that I think would be helpful to be familiar with. So Dr. Kate Kennan is the academic advisor for our MSIT program. Professor Ren, as you have been able to hear from today, is currently the MS in Business Analytics Director, but she previously was the IT Director and is also a faculty member in our ITO program. Professor Demisi, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, he really wanted to be here to be able to talk a little bit about the program, but he is our current program director for the MS in Information Technology program. So he's someone who you'll be hearing a lot from, once you actually begin the program. And then Laura Basson is our career advisor at Gabelli for any of our students in the MS in Information Technology program. So I'll stop there because I think we hopefully covered most of the points, and I want to thank Professor Ren and Amar for sharing some great insights and also things that I think I forgot to include. So I think it was really helpful to have you both here. So if there's any questions, we're happy to take them. If not, we can always connect afterwards too.
Thank you so much. That was a very insightful session. I have a few. Because our counselors, they interact with candidates every day, so there are always a few recurring questions that I want to address today. One is, are there any resources to help international students to adjust in the USA and like in the Bailey?
Yeah, and if there's anything that you want to add, feel free to add it too, I think. But just to start off, so we have, first of all, a large international student population that comes not only for our IT program, but also any of our MS programs or MBA programs. So I think because of that, we are very aware of sort of how big of an adjustment it can be for students coming and maybe moving to a new country for the first time, and especially a city like New York City can be very overwhelming to get adjusted to. But I think we try our best to make sure that from the beginning we try to give you that community. So we have WhatsApp groups that we will be starting very soon to invite any of our admitted students or students that are committed and planning on enrolling so that they can meet students and other incoming students in their programs. So that'll be sort of a first step to kind of getting familiar names, getting familiar with different people. And then beyond that too, in the lead up to the start of the program, your academic advisor will start connecting with you, not only for registration, which will be sort of the main kind of agenda item, but also to get to know you and make sure that, you feel ready to begin the program. We also have sort of webinars that some of our Lonnie from Student Success, so he's like the head of our Student Success Center, he runs a really great session around May or June, I want to say, on renting in New York City. So he goes over sort of tips and tricks, red flags to look out for, and then to get familiar with sort of the renting culture and how all of it works in New York City. So those are just some of the things that I can think of. And then, of course, we have orientation. That's usually like a week or two before the start of classes. And that's where you get your first chance to meet everyone in person, from your program directors to your other students. And then, of course, the academic advisors. And I'll be there as well. So hopefully I'll see you in person as well.
Thank you so much. I also want to know about the housing situation, like how do candidates avail that, and if there are chances that the university helps them to get something if there's nothing available in campus.
Yeah, so I will just say that graduate housing is very limited. So it's not like undergrads where, we have a lot of sort of housing for undergrad students. At the graduate level, we have Fordham affiliated housing called Wilshire Plaza, and I'll just put that here. For any student who is interested in looking into it, you can just Google this and it'll take you to a web page with some information. I will just note that it's not just for Gabelli graduate students, it's also open to students from any of our graduate programs. So whether that's arts and sciences, whether that's the law school, social work, education. So because of that, it is limited and it's first come, first serve. And I believe that the payment method is also different. So it's not like a monthly rent. You either pay by semester or for an academic year. So I would just say if anyone is interested as like a first place to look, you can definitely go onto that website, take a look, see what their costs are, and then what the rooms look like. And there is a contact in there if for any students that are interested. Unfortunately, I don't know too much about it just because it's not run through our office, but I think that's a great place to start. But I would say what I think the majority of our students do is they live off campus in some way. And that's not necessarily just in our area. So Midtown naturally can get very expensive, but I think a lot of our students do live in some of the other boroughs, whether it's Queens, the Bronx. We also have students coming in from Brooklyn, New Jersey as well, I think was mentioned earlier. So I know it sounds far because it's a different state, but it's actually it's a commutable distance, especially if you live sort of like right at the start, kind of the start of the border. So it's right across the river. There's a train that can kind of get you into the city as well. And I also commute from a little bit further out. So definitely, I think there's a lot of options, but definitely for any students that are interested, attending that webinar that Professor Dean Kusin hosts for the New York City sort of renting, you'll get information about that. So I would encourage any students to attend that as well.
Thank you so much. Next question is around how, if there are any IT specific career fairs or networking events where candidates get an opportunity to even interact with alumni and get an opportunity to get mentorship if possible. So if you could talk around.
Yeah, maybe I can start and then Professor Ren, if you want to like add on to it as well. We do have career advisors that students are connected with when they begin the program. So they're, I think, a great resource, and they'll be a main point of contact when it comes to sort of one-on-one workshops and sessions, especially to go over career plans, maybe even before the program starts. We have Career Path, which is a online sort of portal for any of our current students, which advertises the different upcoming events that we have. And they range from ones that are more school-wide to ones that maybe are in specific areas. So there might be, workshops or industry events or alumni events coming up that are very specific to the IT area. And then, of course, we have lots of great kind of ones that our faculty and our program directors put together where we bring on alumni onto campus, maybe for like a mentorship where they talk to current students. So maybe I could have Professor Ren talk a little bit about those experiences too.
Right, absolutely. So I'm going to talk about it in terms of timeline. All right, like imagine that you are already in Fordham, in Gabelli School, and then when you just got in, and then you will be meeting with your director one-on-one, and then throughout the meeting, and then the director probably will ask you like, okay, what is your career path that you want to take? And then he or she, well, in this case, he will be making suggestions about, okay, these could be the electives that you need to focus on. And then like there are certain ways that you need to pay attention to when it comes to like job hunting later in the journey. And then we will have the welcome reception where we are going to invite alumni to join us, not just local and virtually as well. So the alumni will be sharing their experiences as a student in the program and also their working experiences and how they got a job and then like through what ways and then how to prepare accordingly. And then we will also be having like later that we'll also be having this mentor-mentee program where we are gonna ask our local alumni to join from different backgrounds, like industry-wise, and then we are gonna match these alumni as mentors to guide through the students who are interested in each industry. And then, so basically these mentors could be looking at the resumes and then to say, oh, this is you need to like focus on, or you need to put more project related experiences on your resume, and then how to prepare for the job hunting and how to connect, etc., etc. And then probably you will be in the next semester. In the next semester, in addition to, of course, throughout the year, right, there is like CDC, which is like a career center that will be helping students all year long. In addition, in the next semester, and then we will be having, in addition to that, we'll be having the career development workshop hosted by me and also Professor Demisi and also Professor Dr. Kennan and also Laura Bassam. So the four of us will be providing this career development workshop. And then later you will be looking at alumni panels. So again, we will also invite local alumni to come in. This time, the topics will become more technical. For example, in addition to what skill sets that you should be having, and then the alumni will be talking about salary negotiation techniques, etc., etc. All right. So yes, we have wonderful, wonderful collection of these events and then panels that will be helping students to do two things. One, networking. The other one is like how to find a job. In addition, we also very care about our online community. So we have two groups on LinkedIn. One is the private group about alumni. So like later, once you graduate, you will see something, you will be getting the invitation as well to join this alumni private group on LinkedIn. In addition, we have this public page of our programs as well. I will be putting the link in the chat very soon. Thank you.
My next question is for Amar. I wanted to know if you could like explain a little about your journey, how difficult, how smooth it was from India to Fordham, and that one tip you'd like to give anyone who's going to follow the same journey.
Okay. Okay. The thing is, for me, yeah, it's very difficult when I was supposed to take this decision actually, because I have, around 10 years of experience. I was working in Thailand. When I decided to go for masters from the past 2 years, I was thinking in everything. I was thinking for searching for the good colleges. I got some recommendations from the Futurense as well. So when I checking for the Fordham, I checked for the the brand value. Many of the folks doesn't know about the Fordham value, but Fordham has very great value. It will add a great value to the profile as well, especially in the New York region, New Jersey. Most of the people know about the Fordham actually. A lot of industry people know about the Fordham actually. Even when I explained my decision to my manager when I want to resign my company, right? So I said I'm doing masters in this is the college I'm going. He was very much happy. You are going to very good university like that. And one more thing, I want to experience one more thing. This is a crazy thing. When I'm coming to the USA on the first day during the immigration in the New York JFK airport, when I mentioned, I'm going to the Fordham University, he also said it's a very good university. My cousin also studying there. I was surprised actually. So that's the thing I want to mention. Fordham is very good university. That's what I feel. Here the professor are very much helpful. You know, it's like 1 month experience, and I'm very much happy because I got admission from the other universities as well. But I want to choose Fordham because of the curriculum and everything. And one more thing I want to mention, one more thing is here I'm working as a TA, GA actually. I got graduate assistantship. I'm working as under Davis only. So it's a very good opportunity and on campus that too working with a professor closely, you know, it's a very good thing. We need to apply for that opportunity. We need to send a resume. And also there are some work, technical workshops will be there. You have to attend that. That's the thing just I want to mention. So, if you are very much interested to come to the US and if you want to do the masters, you need to start research everything and you need to make the points which you want to do here. That's it. Fordham is the right place.
For sure. You mentioned you're a TA at Fordham, right? Could
Yes,
you, yeah, could you help us understand your journey a little so that, a new candidate can also try to follow the same path?
yeah. So when I got the admission, after that we will receive a access from the Fordham actually. We will receive the email, other everything access. Generally we will receive, communication, emails from the Fordham every day, something related to the events or something related to something information actually. So when I got to know about these opportunities, I was, applied to those opportunity, and fortunately, I received a email from the Professor David, and he was very much impressed with the profile, and we have a chart. Not only me, some other guy also working as a GA. He is also from the Futurense as well. Okay, and that's one more thing. Just I want to add that point. Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations. To all the three of you, is my last question, and I want to keep it a little light. If you were a new student at Fordham, what's that one thing that you would have definitely like tried, or you would suggest someone to do it? One thing.
I'm a new student. You need to consider me. I'm a new student.
Yeah, I'm sorry. For there is, yeah.
Trying to think. There's a lot. And I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. I would just say don't be scared to explore. Not only Gabelli or Fordham, but also the city. I definitely when you first get here, it's gonna be a lot. Like it's a lot of sounds, a lot of like sights. There's just everyone's moving around. They're trying to get to where they want to be, but you'll slowly get into a rhythm once especially your classes start, but don't get stuck in that rhythm. I think it can be really easy to get stuck in the cycle of like, okay, my class is at this time. I'm just gonna go to class when I need to go to class. My club meeting is at this time. I'm just gonna do that. Try to mix it up a little bit. I mentioned that we have another campus in the Bronx. It's a huge campus, it's a beautiful campus, and I think that's an easy way to get started in like exploring the other boroughs. So even though we're at Lincoln Center, we have a van that goes to the other campus. So, check it out. It's really pretty. We have the Bronx Zoo right across this campus. We have the Botanical Gardens. We have a Little Italy in the Bronx too. So make a day out of it. And then once you experience that, I think you'll get more comfortable, like just venturing out and experiencing different parts of the city too. I think that's the beauty of New York City is there's so many different cultures, so many different like types of people, backgrounds. So just yeah, don't be scared to kind of go out there, I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Also, we can see the lot of events which is organized with the culture community. And the last week we have a Lunar New Year celebration from the Chinese team and Japanese team and all. They're very much friendly. They will send an invitation. They just we need to register them if you want. We need to mingle with the other people as well. Then we can build the network opportunities. That is up to the students actually. We need
Yes.
to, we need to go to that events and we need to make a connections. Actually, that's the one. That's what I want to mention.
Yeah, and I also want to mention that our Lincoln Center campus is right next to Central Park, right? So yes, so you can go there, have a walk, and then do jogging, and then right. And also like this in New York City, I mean, a lot of things are going on, and then there are a lot of like free events as well. You can go to like different seminars in person, and then talk to people, and then like everyone is very friendly. So yeah, you will love it. I guarantee that.
Yeah, Central Park is always so nice. Spring and the summer is going to be really pretty, but even in the winter, we have a winter market because we're right by Columbus Circle, and there's a winter market that's open for a couple of months from November through like I think January. And they have like food stalls, but then they also have like small businesses that'll like be selling different types of like arts and crafts and like their own things too. So there's always something to do around where we are.
I want to mention one more thing, your question regarding the commute. New York and New Jersey is a very, they have beautiful commute when compared to the other parts of the US actually. I'm also traveling by path train actually. We can go by path. From our college is very near to the 59 Columbus Circle station. So just a walkable actually, just a 1 to 2 minutes walk. We can go to the train actually. It's very good options are there. Bus is there, train is there. Even if you want to live in near to the college, you can come by walk. No need to worry on that commute.
Great. I think that's a very good note to end this webinar. And thank you so much to all the three of you for sparing your time and giving us this amazing session. I hope we have a very strong follow pipeline this time. All right. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Meghna. Thank everyone. If anyone wants to get connected, I think Meghna can give
Yes.
you my email as well. So feel free to reach out for anything. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Emma.
Guys,
Thanks, Jia.
bye.